community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jared Goff.
All right, that's great. We're back in Restream Glory with intros and the whole 9 yards. How's everybody doing tonight? It is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions. Great to see that Zachary Cleary says, I'm hoping the Lions will bounce back against the Broncos. And I think Braylon Dennis says he's heading to the game tomorrow. All right. Good job, Braylon. That being said, I want to say welcome to everybody. I got Will Vogel, Dan Leonard.
What's up?
Kneecap Villain Keegan, and Cameron back. How was your trip? Did everything go okay, sir?
Which one of us? Me?
Yes, you, Cameron.
I mean, about as well as that trip could go.
Right. I'm just making sure
home.
it was safe, that type of thing.
Yeah, we got there. We got there in time for the visitation, and then we came back same day of the funeral. As soon as we got done at the cemetery, we drove back to my little hole in the wall house out here in Texas. So, other than that, about as good as everything can be.
Good. Well, I am glad to hear that. Let's get into the first topic. Lions O-line looks healthy. Will the O-line rebound to its former glory? Even though Dan in his presser yesterday said there's still a chance that Rags might not play. That concerns me. But other than that, they're healthy. What do you think, Will?
I love it. A healthy O-line protects the quarterback, and it's great instead of having backups come in. So having at least 90% of your O-line healthy is a win.
All right, Leonard?
I want to say yes because I don't see the Broncos pass rush being that good. But the past few weeks, it really just looked out of sync.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but the past few weeks, we haven't had but 3 or 2 starters starting. So it makes a big difference, in my opinion.
It does. But at the same time, does it really with how much time they haven't spent together?
Yeah, it has been 6 weeks straight of flux. That's what I'm getting at.
So even when you're putting all the guys back there, they're still not going to have that, like...
Yeah, but there's just a difference. Even in the 2 games that Decker was out, when they came back together, it was amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, Keegan, what do you think?
I'm going to say, when you have a healthy O-line, it helps your run game very well. So I have a feeling that with our O-line, if our O-line can stay healthy the rest of the season, we will have maybe a top 10 running game, or even top 5.
We still are a top 10 running game. That's the crazy thing. That's what you're missing out on. And from scrimmage yards with their receiving, do you realize that we've already had over 2,000 yards of scrimmage from our running backs?
Whew.
Wow.
Which is technically where we were at the end of last season.
Wow.
So we've actually been doing better than we thought. I think they have almost 1,200 yards combined rushing already. That's huge. What do you think, Cameron?
I think it's going to help the offense get their head out of their ass. not even just on the run game aspect of it, but you've got moving everyone around. It's shaking up the chemistry and the rhythm that's been there since, week, what was it, 9 of last year,
Yep.
where we turned into one of the best passing offenses or one of the best combined offenses in the league, both pass and rush, to our O-line being injured, and it's caused more pressure on Goff. Notice that his fumbles and his INTs and everything started popping up more once that O-line had to get moved around due to injuries. I think with that O-line getting healthy again, it's going to get Goff to go back to where he was, being comfortable and being able to play like we know.
Well, and I agree with that, and it's going to segue into what was going to be my third subject, but I'm going to make it the second because it kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm about to say. Because Jared Goff, do we see the steady Eddie of the first 6 weeks of Dr. Jekyll with only the 3 turnovers? Or are we going to see the last 7 weeks of Mr. Hyde with 13 total turnovers? I mean, that's a huge disparity, and a lot of it has to do with the last 6 weeks. I mean, the one game we were healthy was versus the Ravens, and Jay just annihilated us. So, but they weren't sacking Goff a lot in that game. They got pressures, but they weren't sacking him a lot, and that was due to the fact that we had our healthy O-line, and we also still had a decent run game through the first half.
Mm-hmm.
We just went away from it. That being said, what do you think, Cameron?
I'm gonna stick with what I just said with the O-line being healthy again. Even if Ragnow doesn't play, you've still got 4/5 of your O-line. You got 80% of the people who know their spot. Keep Goff in there. Let him get comfortable. Let that O-line get that chemistry back. I think we're gonna get back to what we knew the first 6 weeks.
Exactly. All right, Keegan.
I'm just gonna piggyback off of him. Our O-line is finally healthy, and with the protection that Goff is gonna get, I have a feeling that he's gonna have time to get that passing game down, and a little bit of mix between both, and we will see the first 6 weeks Goff in this game.
Yep. Leonard.
You're going to see closer to the first 6 weeks, but I'm not even going to say that's because of Goff. I'm going to say it's because there's like 0 pass rush on the Broncos. While they do have a great secondary still, their defensive line sucks. So he'll have time to hit the underneath stuff. But if he tries going outside or deep, I see him getting picked off a bunch.
I kind of agree with that. Will?
I agree with the mix of both. Goff having 90% of his original O-line healthy will definitely help. Just don't force anything deep because you got Patrick Surtain leaking back there, and he's probably going to be covering raw if I had to guess. But I don't know. Who knows? But also, yes, I think we'll see Goff back to normal because, like I said, you have 90% of your O-line healthy, and Goff is used to a regular O-line instead of substituting each week, different O-line every week, which should open the passing lanes and open the running lanes and some play action maybe to Gibbs.
Yeah, because if Rags can play, and it's still up in the air because he's been limited but at practice all week. So if he's able to play, then yes, it's 100% of the O-line that we got used to after week 2 when Big V went down. But if it's not Rags, it's only 80%, which technically is 60% of our original O-line to start the season. So even at 80%, as you said, Will, it's still only 60% of what we expected to be the O-line for the season. Yeah, no problem. And I really, really hope it's the 80%. I want Rags in there. Because with Rags in there, it's a different look. Glasgow is kind of meh at center, but this will be his second week doing it, and maybe he can clean some of that up now that he's back with Hank Fraley when he did have a good year at center. The year Tyler Swanson went down, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Quick question: who do the Broncos have besides Pat Surtain in a corner?
In corner, safety wise, it was Simmons. That kid Simmons. That kid's amazing. The other corner,
yes.
Justin Simmons is amazing. He's a big reason for a lot of the picks too through the center of the field down deep. He does an excellent single high safety role, playing like Kirby did last year. Then let's welcome in. It's Dom, the Grinch that stole Pistons. How the Grinch stole Pistons? Is that what that says?
How the Grinch stole Pistons basketball.
Yeah. And they hired Troy Weaver. But anyways. I think it's less on Monty and the fact that we don't have a lot of chemistry in that locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I see. But my first question was, the Lions O-line looks healthy. Will the O-line rebound to former glory? What do you think? Dom? I think he froze.
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. And then the second one is, which Jared Goff do we see? The one that was behind the good O-line for 6 weeks? Or are we going to see the which is like more like Dr. Jekyll, Steady Eddie with only the 3 or 4 turnovers, or what we've seen the last 7 weeks with 13 total turnovers? Dom?
Yeah, I think he's frozen.
Yeah, he is. Hop out and come back in, buddy. I'll put him in the background for now.
Get that McDonald's Wi-Fi, Dom.
No, he's at home. I can tell where he's at. But Keegan, what do you think about that?
Oh, we all said that.
Goff.
You were just repeating for Dom.
Oh, okay. Did you talk on the cough subject?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Ceedy Deuce activated for practice this week and could play as early as next week versus Minnesota. How does this make everybody feel? I'll start with you, Keegan.
I'm gonna say that even when he was out, I feel like he was a presence in that locker room. And now that he's back in practice, and he's the bit to get back, and he wants to get back as soon as possible. And with him coming back, our defense might have a turnaround with CD back.
Braylon Dennis, he's super ecstatic. Is Undone Jeremy B, my favorite Lions YouTuber. Awesome. Hatter's House 710 says, go Lions. Do the Pistons get 28 in a row losing streak? I kind of see it happening.
Yeah, they suck.
Just out of
they are the 2016 Lions right now. When you look at what their schedule is and what they've done,
they're trash.
Yeah, exactly. But they're not. What's weird is offensively they're still good. It's defensively they can't stop anybody.
They weren't very offensively good tonight.
And back from technical difficulties, it's Dom.
We think.
Are you there?
My laptop has been being real funky with StreamYard and the new one we use for the Gauntlet, but everything's been fine with Restream this whole time, and then just now, not so much. Plus, my vapes are in my car, and, I'd lose my ass if it weren't on my shoulders.
Right.
Like I had everything all set up. I'm like, all right, phone. And then I'm like, where's the vapes? I've been home for like 15 minutes. I'm like, where are they at? And I'm like, I know I didn't leave them in the car. Yeah, I did. Anyways.
I don't think the Lions can clinch tomorrow. Oh, God, I got a nickel. It's you, Dom.
Yeah, it's
There. I'm just going to mute it for a second, Dom.
The Lions, statistically, they can't clinch tomorrow.
Nope, because with Minnesota winning, that keeps them that one game too close. They have to win twice, and Minnesota just has to lose one.
Yes. Did Minnesota play today? Did I miss
No.
something?
Minnesota won last week is what I'm saying. Remember, 3-0.
No, I know, but if Minnesota loses this week,
right?
There was a breakdown in there somewhere in one of the group chats, I think. If Minnesota loses and if Green Bay loses, and then a couple other teams, we
I don't know if I have an echo, but now I can't hear anymore.
And then if we win,
fucking damn it!
Oh no! So you had to boot out again. Yeah. So the only way we can clinch tomorrow, and I think if I saw it, it's Minnesota loses, Green Bay loses, LA Rams tie, and another loss. I think it's a Seattle loss. Let's see. Oh, I don't got an echo. Can you hear me, Dom?
Yes. How about now?
Yes, I can hear you.
No echo, and everyone can hear each other.
Yes, fantastic.
I have it right here. So Detroit win, and Seattle loss or tie, and then a Green Bay loss or tie, and we clinch.
See,
that's one scenario.
I just don't think that. I just don't think that one's possible because if Minnesota wins, it puts them in striking distance because we play them twice. That's the only thing I read. Is if they win out, we could have the same record, even with one more win. Because they have 7 losses, right?
Minnesota.
Yeah, 6 and 7, right?
7 and 6.
Oh, they're 7 and 6. So yeah. So we have to win 2.
Yep.
And they can, if they win out, they can win the division.
This says we clinch playoff berth, not that we clinch the division.
Okay.
These are all scenarios for clinching the playoff berth.
Yeah, we would just have enough to get the wild card, not the division.
Right.
Hey man, I saw a thing today where my Giants can still take the 7th seed in the playoffs.
Yep. And it also depends on Minnesota and Green Bay losing.
Chicago's only a game out. Fucking Chicago.
Yeah,
that's how bad the NFC is.
I know, but the AFC looks worse.
Yeah. No, the NFC. I wouldn't even necessarily say that the NFC is bad. They're competitive.
There's 4 good teams.
Unless you're Carolina. If you're Carolina, you're not competitive. You're just
there's Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco. That's 3. The other 4 is 1/3 of Philly, us, and
Miami,
Dallas,
and Miami.
Okay, they're not good either.
No, they're not good defensively, but offensively, they're amazing.
They can't beat anyone with a winning record. No one can. That's why the whole league is some variety of 6 and 7 or 5 and 8.
I know.
Actually, incorrect because Dallas beat Philly.
The entire league, besides the teams in first, are 5 and 8.
Philly looks like a bunch
of. Somebody just asked, is Jerry Jacobs going to start or did he get benched? Jerry Jacobs, as far as I know, is playing.
So what is the issue? So has Aaron Glenn lost the locker room?
Yes.
Yeah. Bugs has got an issue with him. Charles Harris has an issue with him. Walker has an issue with him because Walker has not been on the injury report, but yet he's not starting.
Walker had an issue with him 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm pretty sure that's who he was.
No, that was Kirby.
Oh, was it Kirby? Was he blowing up at Glenn?
Yeah, he wasn't blowing up at Glenn. That's where I watched a video. He actually blew up at Ceedy Deuce.
Why?
I've never heard why. There's been no explanation. Glenn was the one that was kind of Glenn and Bly is the one that calmed him down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And every time Kirby would walk past CJGJ, you could see his demeanor change, And CJ's just like, hey, I'm done. You know, I think CJ said something to him on one of the plays where he got burnt versus the Packers.
I think CJ was sitting there trying to light a fire under Kirby's ass, and Kirby took it the wrong way.
Right.
It's not CJ. It's Ceedy shit.
Yeah, it's Shitty Deuce. But anyways, no, Dre Bly is the one that calmed him down.
I like Dre Bly.
I loved him as a
And
player.
John Kaminsky said they lost their confidence and swagger. It's not good. No, it's not good. Dre Bly was the one that was able to calm him down. That's the crazy thing.
That's good, though. Coach doing that.
Well, he should. That's what you're supposed to do when you got a player rampaging on the side.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, he was yelling at the whole secondary. I think Kirby lost it because CJ said, if I was in type of thing. And I think Kirby lost it because, what the fuck? You haven't been in since week 2.
If you were in, it's not like you'd be taking my job.
Get Aaron Glenn the Chargers job? I think that's Bill Belichick's to lose right now, from what I understand.
Yeah, Belichick or Harbaugh.
Yeah, Belichick or Harbaugh.
I've heard Harbaugh.
I've heard Belichick, 100%.
It's probably Belichick's job if he wants it, but if I'm the Chargers owner, I'm hiring Harbaugh, not Belichick.
We'll be going over keys to the game here in a little bit, and I pray to God it happens this way. If it doesn't, we're going to be in trouble. That's all I got to say.
Wait a minute.
Jared
I'm
Goff
gonna go
is
back
the
to
man in the 8:15 time slot. The man.
He has been. Prime time, we've won every game in prime time this
Run
year.
the ball.
I'm gonna go back to what
There it
JB
is. There's only one. Run the ball.
Okay, Keegan.
I'm gonna go back to what when we were talking about Harbaugh and that Chargers job. I'm gonna go back to what JB said. If Harbaugh gets suspended from the NCAA, he's gonna have the same thing with the NFL.
They don't
Yep.
care.
No, Roger Goodell has said whatever suspension is levied to a coach in the NCAA, he will honor their first year in the NFL.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
And indefinite suspension, Mel Tucker will never be in the NFL.
Well, maybe because they're both pro leagues now. Maybe that's why.
It is why.
They're paying the players.
Right.
Yeah.
And there will be an NCAA in a couple years, but it will contain the bottom 62 teams.
I
For-
want Aaron
for
Glenn to
right
get
to
the
get into the big boy
Falcons
league.
job.
Yes,
I
so the
want-
Panthers can rebuild and beat him.
No. I mean, me too, just to get him gone, but they're going to take an offensive-minded coach.
Why the
Which
hell?
may be why Harbaugh gets the job
Terribleness.
instead of Belichick.
Yeah, I saw that report. Mark Davis loves John Gruden, but at the same time, Mark Davis does have the controlling factor, but he's literally at 51%. And according to their charter's byline, he has to win by 55%. And guess who has control? Even though it's a minority share, guess who has all the other guys in his back pocket?
Tom
Brady.
Brady.
Tom Brady. Who does Brady want for coach of the Raiders? Jim Harbaugh.
Yep.
And it'll probably be easier to swing Mark Davis than it will be to swing the other owners.
Yes.
If they end up getting Harbaugh, I think they're gonna. That suspension comes up. They're gonna stick with their interim coach that they have right now.
Pierce, yeah.
No, they
I
won't.
love it.
They don't do that.
Mark Davis
Only if
has
they
never
go on a
done
winning
that.
Streak.
No, you can't say that because that's what happened under Ben Stasia. Was that his name?
Pistacia. Yeah, he reeled off that great record. Then they didn't.
Reeled
hire
off
him.
the great record. Won a game in the playoffs because remember they beat the Chargers
Yep.
in the
Didn't hire
playoff
him.
game and lost the next week. And then they didn't hire him.
Didn't hire him. How crazy would it be, though, to have Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Bill Belichick, and Jim Harbaugh all in the same division?
Oh,
Huh. That'd be some shit right there.
I
Somebody
think
brought that up earlier on the Gauntlet. They didn't even
Mhm.
say Harbaugh, but they were just saying Belichick, Reid, and Sean Payton.
Yeah, but then throw in Harbaugh
Right?
so.
or insert whatever coach ends up there.
I think
Yeah,
CD
maybe now the AFC West
Okay.
will be what it was supposed to be.
Let's see what Cameron has to say here.
I was going to say, back on the topic of Ceedy Deuce, I think he's going to come back next week. I just saw the video link to one of the groups in Twitter where he's running full speed in practice.
Yep.
He's hitting the drills. Who do we think he's going to put out of a job when he comes back?
Out of a
starting.
job?
He's starting when he comes back.
I think he's starting, and he was starting in Tracy Walker's position.
Take Iffy's job.
I think
Really?
Iffy might be slid back over to Jerry Jacobs' spot.
Yeah. I mean, really, they've got – if CJ comes back, Kirby's keeping his spot. That just means you can move Branch and Gardner Johnson around more.
Mm-hmm.
And Will fucking Harris is out of a job.
Yeah. Hopefully that means somehow, some way it puts Will Harris out of a job.
And I didn't get the email today, so I won't be down there to ask that question at the press conference because I sure as fuck would. The first question I would say, so Mr. Coach Campbell, I know you said no turds on this roster. Why do Will Harris and Burrito Jones still have a job?
Hey, Burrito got that fumble recovery.
Yeah, who damn near passed out from oxygen deprivation by the time he got to the other 20.
Corresponding roster moves. As soon as they activate CJ, they'll be cutting Will Harris.
I hope so.
But
you know what? But they love him so much, and I still say to this day, Will Harris has pictures of AG keeping his job on his knees in front of Dan Campbell.
I've been saying for years, he's got that Brandon Inge level dirt.
No.
But I think if CJ Gardner Johnson comes back over these last 3 weeks that he can play in the regular season, makes a splash enough in the postseason on defense, I think he might get a contract extension, honestly.
I can't believe the question was asked by Is Undone, but he goes, do you think Patricia or Staley was worse? It was Patricia.
It was Patricia.
You know why? Staley kept his jobs 2 weeks longer.
Even though he was doing things early in the season where it was like, are you trying
let's also not forget Staley got to the playoffs as a head coach.
Twice.
Patricia just came in and destroyed an entire playoff ready team.
Yeah, you know.
That being said, we are on to the last subject, the fun one. Denver versus Detroit, the keys to victory. What do you think the keys to victory are, Will?
Like I said, Goff just needs to be mindful where Surtain and Simmons are and don't force any throws because you're going to get picked off because those two are lethal back there. Also, change it up a bit. Do some play action. Of course, run the ball, pass the ball. And for defense, just get after Russ. Just get after Russ.
Okay. Dan?
Keys to victory. Sending enough escorts to the Broncos hotel the night before the game to keep them all awake all night and make them tired by the time to play.
Women with legs.
Hey, that's what Lawrence Taylor used to do.
All we got to do is get a bunch of those girls from 6 Mile with that famous quarterback we drafted's name on their back to go down there.
Are you talking about Goff being a streetwalker again?
Not Goff. There's a reason why number 12 is the number 1 selling jersey on 6 Mile.
It probably is.
Because that last name of Hooker fits. Keegan, what's your keys to victory?
I'm going to say offensive, that we're going to have to pass underneath with Surtain and Simmons being against our receivers, but their D-line is weak. So I have a feeling our run game, we're going to be more run heavy this week.
I can see it for sure.
And offensive, defensive, we need just get sacks and turnovers.
Well, when we get sacks, guess what? The turnovers happen. I will say that. Cameron, what are your keys to victory?
Cleaning up the sloppy play that I've seen that we've all seen over the last few weeks. Goff not taking care of the ball. Offensive line not protecting Goff. It kills me to say this, but St. Brown not playing like he did last week.
Yeah, we can't have him dropping
I'm a
3
diehard.
passes.
I'm a diehard St. Brown fan, and seeing him play like that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go bust out the Barry Sanders jersey out of the closet. Just overall better play. I mean, getting after Russ, getting pressures, forcing errant throws. We showed that we can do it last week. Do it again.
Dom?
Run the ball, run it some more. Run the ball every single time that you can until they stop you from getting 3.3 yards per down. When Montgomery gets tired, bring in Gibbs. When Gibbs gets tired, bring in Netflix. When Netflix gets tired, hand the ball to Jalen Reeves, Maven, Sam Laporta, whoever.
Rodrigo.
Sufficiently run it down their throat. Guess what? Opens up the play action. Who's good in play action? Jared
Goff.
Really good.
We could see Amon-Ra getting some runs too.
Whoever's not tired and is willing to take a handoff, they can run it.
Give it to JMO.
Yeah. JMO on a reverse. Khalif Raymond on a reverse.
Okay. Hey, Dom.
I literally would not even attempt to throw the ball until I absolutely had to.
Dom, I got a question. I got a thought just popped in my head here. Who was the reason that Amon-Ra was a 4th-round pick?
Some girl in SC proposed some trumped up sex charges that got dropped the halfway through day 2 of the draft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But no one ever talked about him as a 1st rounder. Why?
He was considered a 2nd rounder. I don't know why he was never thought of as a 1st rounder, but he was supposed to be a 2nd rounder, and that report came out day 1 of the draft.
Well,
there was
purportedly
a ton of other wide receiver talent. He was still like a top 5, top 6. That was a loaded class, and every one of those guys, including most of the 1st rounders, ended up being a little bit better than I thought they would. Like, hats off to Chase and Waddle and Devontae Smith. Those dudes are all better than I thought they would be.
He would have been considered even higher, though, if he wasn't the 2nd option to Drake London at USC.
Dad, the DL user sounds like a Walmart version of Adam Schefter.
Wow.
Well, you can blow a goat.
That was great. I'm sorry. I found that one hilarious.
That's like 3 points.
I had to look at it and read it, and I was like, wait, is he talking about me? And then I'm like, wait, who's DL?
Oh, my God.
I low-key kind of hope he goes home tomorrow and his wife's getting nailed by the mailman.
He does cut.
Yeah!
You do kind of sound like Schefter a bit, Leonard.
Oh.
I don't know if I should be insulted now.
You shouldn't have been insulted. It had to do with your voice.
Well, he could have said
Hey,
the
I still like Adam Schefter now. I liked him before. When I did not like him is when he leaked that trade about Odell Beckham and it got canceled.
Yeah. Whew. Sorry. Having a muscle cramp. So I
a lot
had
of money, though.
get off
He leaked
camera.
that trade because Beckham was hurt a lot.
Dude, he has like 10 phones.
I forgot he was a Michigan guy.
You know what's funny is I think a few weeks ago when what's his name, Staley was supposed to be fired a few weeks ago, he went on McAfee today and said I was up till 3 a.m. one day because I thought there was gonna be a report that Staley was gonna be fired a few weeks ago. I'm like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you?
But literally, there was a report that came out at 7:30 in the morning. And what was weird, and that was day 3 of the draft. That was before we drafted St. Brown, by the way, people. That pick after St. Brown was actually being traded to Cleveland instead of us taking it and trading up. And we were supposed to get DPJ and get their 6th round pick. And then all of a sudden,
Not DPJ, Odell.
Or Odell.
Different acronym, former Cleveland receiver.
Yeah. We were supposed to get OBJ, not DPJ. But anyways, and they were going to get our 6th round pick, and we were going to give up that 4th rounder, if I remember right.
Wow.
And it was on, it actually, the trade went through on most of the mocks, because Dom and I was like, wait a minute, why did OBJ start following every single Lion on the team, including the rookies we just drafted in day 1 and day 2?
Right.
And he dropped the fact that he was a Cleveland Browns wide receiver on Twitter.
Wow.
And 7:30 in the morning, that report hit. By 8 o'clock, it was off. It was deleted on Twitter.
Wow.
Because even my dad said, hey, there's a trade going down. We're getting OBJ.
Yep. Man.
It was crazy.
Yep.
All right, my keys to the victory is kind of along the way of Dom's, and I'm going to give it a little more. On defense, we have to blitz more than 10%.
What happened last week when we blitzed?
Yeah, we forced a turnover.
Right.
Every time we blitz consistently, and we blitzed the first quarter and went away. And what's crazy is, what formation did we blitz out of, Dom?
Wasn't the 4-2-5?
No, it was the 3-4. The week before, when we blitzed, in the beginning, when we were frustrating the Packers, or the Saints, it was the 3-4 and the 4-4.
We love going away from things that work. We
ran the ball
before Aaron Glenn, though.
No, but it's been real consistent right now that we're going away from stuff that's working.
Offense too.
Yeah, offensively. We ran the ball for, 120 yards through 2.5 quarters versus the Bears?
Yeah.
Why didn't we stay with it? Because
Right.
they weren't scoring once we started scoring. We had the lead at halftime.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the defense actually played really well in the third quarter, and the offense couldn't do dick.
Right, because we went pass, run instead of run, pass, run, or run, pass, or whatever we were doing before.
Right. Whatever was working, we didn't keep doing.
Jeremy wishes Flores was his DC. I wish we had Bob Root of Carmen Ainsworth High School as our DC over Aaron Glenn. Good Lord. And Bob Root's been dead for 20 years. I'd resurrect him and put him in as a tackle dummy.
Zombie.
No, I'd put him in as on a tackle dummy, give him a headset and a speaker in his mouth, and I will call the plays. Shit, I don't care.
Run the ball. Stop the ball. Stop the ball. Now give me Mountain Dew.
And the big difference in the first 6 weeks of play, we also ran blitz. We haven't been run blitzing since then, which is why you're seeing more teams get yards now on the rushing. We went from number 2 all the way down to, I think we're either 11th or 12th in rushing defense now.
Creeping back towards the middle.
Yeah, and our passing defense is slipping past the Chargers until this past week. They might be the 33rd defense in the NFL, and there's only 32 teams.
Who are they behind? The St. Louis
Battlehawks? Everyone.
Even the St. Louis Battlehawks.
I think they're behind half the teams in the XFL.
No, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
They gave up so many yards. I think Brandon Staley's still laying in his house after being fired, holding on to his key card that's been changed and doesn't work, going, I heard him score again.
Right, I was going to say.
Jeremy, I bet you think
Aiden O'Connell just threw another passing touchdown.
And you know what the bad part is Easton Stick did not have that bad of the game. He had 1 fumble, 1 interception, and 3 touchdowns.
Jeremy, also...
in junk time. It don't count.
What?
All his touchdowns were in junk time. It don't count.
It counts.
I haven't posted the article yet. But I think this final score is going to be like 31-24. I think we're only going to win by 5 to 7 points. I like 31-24 because that's about the average that the Denver scores, and that's about the average we're giving up now is 24 points. And I think this offense gets back to their high scoring ways that they used to, but they're not going to be as high scoring because they're not in that rhythm yet.
I can see it.
I'm going to say 27-23.
Hatters House 710 said our defense just gave up another touchdown. What's crazy is 3 of those were defensive touchdowns. There was a fumble recovery and 2 pick sixes in that game. Ooh, 27-26 Lions.
26 in that range. 27-24. That would be my guess.
Well, the Lions have yet to not cover in prime time.
What's the over-under? Do we know?
I don't know what it is, but I do know that the point spread is 5.5 for Detroit.
Still got 27-23.
And the money has been going on Denver. So you know what that means. And I'm not talking about the big money. I'm talking about the overall money. That means the Lions are going to cover the spread.
Mm-hmm. Question real quick. I saw a bunch of stuff today saying Brian Flores was named the interim coach of the Chargers. Is that bullshit?
Gotta be.
It's got to be because he's the coordinator of Minnesota. He has to be on that roster to be an interim head coach.
Right.
I heard the interim head coach is going to be Josh McDaniels.
LOL.
So the over-under is 47.5.
No, I'm pretty sure the interim coach could be whoever the hell you want because last year the Colts did Jeff Saturday and he was just the freaking consultant for the team.
Yeah, but he wasn't drawing a paycheck from another NFL franchise.
Right.
You can bring in whoever you want off the street to be. I mean,
Devin Bynum comes in and says, "Happy holidays, everyone." Thank you, Devin. So what's your score prediction, Will?
27-23.
Okay. Keegan?
I'm going to agree. Well, the over-under is 47.5. And I am going to – Braylon Daniels said it, and I'm going to agree. 30-23.
What do you think, Cameron?
I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I don't think it's even going to be close. I'm projecting 40-20 range.
Wow.
I think our offense finally gets their shit together. I think that secondary is going to step up, especially now that Ceedy Deuce is looking at coming back because now you've got these DBs and these safeties who are sitting here looking, going, he's coming back. I need to make sure I keep my job. So I think they're finally going to pull their heads out of their asses. I think it's going to be a one-sided affair.
Dom?
High scoring, some sort of weird score like 33-26.
What do you think, Leonard?
Riley Patterson finally kicks a couple field goals.
I said 27-24.
Okay. And we all heard me say 31-24. I think they're going to win it by a touchdown. I'm trying not to go full-on homer and go for the big win, but...
For me.
Oh, you're not going
to your lips to God's ears. Has there ever been another 9-win team leading its division by 2 games that needed a win so badly?
Yeah. Yes. The last time we had 9 wins in the division and leading, and we couldn't get another one.
Okay, fair point.
And Is Undone says, "Wow, that's bold, Cameron." I have Patterson in fantasy, so I hope so. It says Hatters House. I have that Dallas Cowgirls kicker because he's been pretty damn good.
Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah.
Aubrey.
I switched out.
Motherfucker could have kicked 70, no problem.
The Lions defense, I switched them out. I still have Montgomery. Montgomery turns out not really that valuable if he's not scoring touchdowns.
And since Herbert is hurt, I made a couple moves that I think was pretty brilliant. I grabbed Tommy Cutlets,
Nice.
And I grabbed Wandell Robertson.
Nice.
Wandell will get fucking just catches. He'll give you points just off the targets. All
Right.
those screen passes. Real quick, right behind there.
Yep.
Right now, I'm seeing top ads in fantasy is Jalen Hyatt.
What's weird is I don't get why he hasn't been that great.
He's been great when they've played him. He's played like 15% of the snaps all season, though, and he averages like 23 yards a catch on those 15%.
Right.
He hasn't worked his way into the rotation yet.
Right.
But it's like you're bad. Everyone should be getting looks.
So,
You know what that is? It's not even
On that note,
he's
I'm gonna head
just
out.
dumb and doesn't know the playbook.
Cameron, you have a good night. Thank
Good
you
night,
for joining
Cameron.
us.
Absolutely.
I've got to head out too.
Okay, well, you have a good night.
everyone.
Okay, now that the slackers are leaving.
I always have Mountain Dew. I have backups for my Mountain Dew. I'm as bad with Mountain Dew as Dom is with vapes.
I do have two right by my side, and a full, like, still packaged and wrapped one in the glove box of my car.
So that being said, Leonard, tell everybody where they can find whatever you do on Facebook now.
Message me. Fuck putting shit out there. I'm only doing stuff by order now, or if I feel like something's cool and I want to paint something, that's it.
I don't know if everybody saw it, but I do have something cool coming from Leonard.
Yeah, you do. I showed Brendan and Quinn those two, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah. That went over
You
good.
should send them one each, but it has to be a Jared Goff doll.
Actually, if I was sending a golf to anybody, I know exactly where that would go. But I'm pretty sure there'd be a couple holes poked in it by the time it was done.
So that being said, where to go?
So you did just have it up.
Yeah, I know, and all of a sudden it stopped screen sharing. Oh, it closed the window on me. That's why. Just a second.
I'll show Dom. I'll send Dom the picture. This is what I did for Quinn's son.
Nope.
He popped out one picture.
There we go, guys. My mini Jeremy is done. What do you guys think?
I think that's cool.
I think it took a ton of fucking paint.
You think it turned out what?
I said it took a ton of fucking paint. That's what I think.
Well, yeah, it was styrofoam. It absorbs it a lot. It soaks it up like a sponge because it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I just sent Dom a picture of one I did for Quinn.
Oh, the Lions one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was badass. Yeah, so that'll be here shortly. That has the cracked ice helmet. It's a Detroit Lions mini helmet that actually fit on the Walmart styrofoam nutcracker. All he did was cut the hat off and it fit on there.
I'm so glad you said okay to that because I had already chopped his head in half by the time I asked you.
I know.
I'm just like, yeah, it's going to work. You'll love it.
Oh, yeah. And I do. I mean, I never would have thought to put a smoking JB on it. That was his suggestion. I wanted it to be Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, but if it was Hutchinson, I would have had to put Bostonson on the back because, yeah.
Oh.
What was the number? Was it 10?
It's 10 because I was born in
You should put 12.
Nope. I'm born in October. 10 has always been my favorite number. But at that point, it is time for me to do what I always do this time of night, and that's talk about my sponsors. Los Negron, one of the best window tenders in Saginaw. Check him out. Give him a call, 989-443-9240 to set your appointment. He will get with you. He does great work, like on this Maserati and on this 300 C-Class. And he also did the back end of my car, which is in maize because it is a navy blue car, so it looks like a Michigan car with yellow windows.
Sick.
And of course, our favorite sponsor, it's FTP. It's not the florist. What does it mean, guys?
Fuck the Packers.
Fuck the Packers.
Exactly. Fuck the Packers. And and I'm going to end the show the way I always do. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts within here. Much love to everybody. Smoking Dad, glad you made it. Hatter's House is undone. The only guy I didn't see was James Burgess. I saw King SJ pop in. Go Lions. Here's to the Broncos. Here's to them sucking the Lions' dick.
Here's the Broncos tears.
You like that one, Leonard?
Oh, no. This is horrible.
What?
It's so much funnier. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I sent it to you.
Oh, God. I'm scared to look. That's bad. That's bad. On that note, thank you, everybody. I hope you have a very blessed weekend. And let's go Lions. Let's have a win tomorrow night. I want the Giants to win this week, too.
Me too. Fuck it. We're going to ruin our draft pick. We might as well go to the playoffs.
Right. You already ruined it. It's going to be a 15 pick now.
So instead of getting Jaden Daniels, we'll get like J.J. McCarthy.
Or even a Bo Nix if he falls to you.
Don't you dare push that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Michael Penix.
I'll take Penix over fucking 80-year-old Bo Nix any day of the week.
They're about the same age.
Yeah.
I don't care. Bo Nix been in college 37 years already. Bo Nix couldn't freaking beat out Spencer Rattler and freaking Malik Willis. I don't want anything to do with that guy.
Bo Nix did beat out Malik Willis.
Yeah, but he didn't beat out Spencer Rattler. The whole three of them are a triumvirate of shit I want nothing to ever do with.
Have a great night, everybody. God, I love Leonard. He's great.
Second round comes. Jordan Travis is on the board.